All right, let's get into it. We've all seen them, right? Those endless rows of colorful garage doors, usually right off the side of the highway. But what if I told you that behind those pretty unassuming facades is one of the most powerful and, get this, recession-proof business model you've probably never even thought about? Today, we're unlocking the secrets of the self-storage industry. So, to kick things off, let me ask you a question. Picture a small town, somewhere out in Colorado. Now, what do you think they have more of? A place to get a loan? A place to grab a drink? Or a place to store your extra stuff? Basically, are there more self-storage facilities than there are banks or even bars? It sounds kind of crazy, but the answer is a resounding yes. And that one little fact, that one surprising piece of trivia, is actually the key that unlocks this entire story. So yeah, let's start right there with that curious town, because it really is the hook that pulls us into this whole thing. See, what's happening in that town isn't some weird fluke. It's a clue. It's a symptom of a much, much bigger economic story. This isn't just about one town. It's about a business model that has quietly grown into an absolute giant in modern real estate. And the why behind it is, well, it's fascinating. And that brings us to the system behind it all and why so many investors look at self-storage and think, yeah, that's pretty much the perfect form of real estate. So here's the core idea. Compared to the often winding, complicated world of traditional real estate, self-storage is just remarkably simple. A lot of people see it as the easiest on-ramp to the whole commercial property highway. And this right here shows you exactly why. Just look at the comparison. Over here, you've got your traditional retail space, expensive interiors, constant upkeep, huge utility bills. And then over here, you have self-storage. It's just a completely different ballgame. Let's just break that down for a second. First, construction is cheap. You're basically building metal boxes and pouring concrete. The overhead? Incredibly low. You don't need fancy lighting or complex plumbing for every single unit. And staffing? You can run a massive facility with just one, maybe two people. The day-to-day operations are about as simple as it gets in the property world. But here's the twist. The real genius of this business model, the real power, it isn't actually in the low-cost buildings. No, it's in the psychology of the people who use them. And that leads us to the industry's secret weapon. It has nothing to do with concrete or steel. It's all about something economists like to call the sticky customer. So what in the world is a sticky customer? Well, it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's someone who, once they sign up for a service, is very, very unlikely to leave. And it's not always because they love the company. It's because the hassle of leaving is just too much. It's all about inertia. This quote just nails it perfectly. Think about it. Is it annoying to see that, say, $50 charge hit your credit card every month? Yeah, a little. But is it more annoying to have to rent a U-Haul, convince your friends to help, and spend your entire Saturday hauling dusty furniture and old boxes? Oh, absolutely. The pain of paying is just way less than the pain of leaving. And here's the bottom line. That inertia, that I'll get to it next month feeling, translates directly into a wonderfully predictable, reoccurring revenue stream for the owners. People put their stuff in there, and, well, it tends to just stay there, month after month, and sometimes year after year. Okay, so that brings up an even bigger question, right? This reliable demand is awesome for business, but where does it come from? Why do so many of us end up needing to rent a metal box for our stuff, no matter if the economy is booming or totally in the tank? Well, the answer comes down to four basic and frankly unavoidable life events. The industry has a nickname for them, the four forces, or more bluntly, the 4Ds. See, here's the thing. The self-storage industry doesn't really rise and fall with the stock market. Its success is tied to life itself, the messy, complicated, universal transitions that pretty much all of us go through at some point. So here they are, the big drivers. First, you've got death. When someone passes away, their belongings often need a temporary home while the family figures everything out. Then there's divorce. One household suddenly becomes two, and that almost always creates a new need for space. Downsizing is another huge one. Think retirees or empty nesters moving into a smaller home with a lifetime's worth of possessions. And finally, the one we can all probably relate to, decluttering. It's just the simple, relentless accumulation of stuff in our lives that eventually overflows our closets and garages. And this is the absolute key to the whole thing. People get married, they get divorced, they move, they pass on. These things happen consistently, whether we're in a great economy or a terrible one. And that makes the demand for self-storage incredibly stable and almost immune to recessions. So when you take a step back and you look at this whole big picture, What does the explosive growth of this industry really tell us about ourselves? At the end of the day, a self-storage unit is so much more than just a business model. It's kind of like a mirror. It reflects the big transitions in our lives, the good, the bad, all of it. And maybe more than anything, it reflects our very modern, very complex, and let's be honest, often overwhelming relationship with our own possessions. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry that's really built on one simple reality. We have more stuff than we have space for it. And that kind of leaves us with one last big question to think about. Our storage units are full. What does that really say about our lives?